Michael Jackson's death in 2009 left the world stunned. However, questions and theories have circulated ever since. Today we're examining 25 facts that have led some to believe the King of Pop might still be alive. Let's look at the evidence. 1. Creepy final rehearsal video. In Michael Jackson's final rehearsal video for his This Is It tour, he is seen dancing and singing with energy and precision. He performs complicated dance moves and sings his hit songs, appearing in excellent health. This vibrant performance contrasts with reports suggesting Michael was in poor health, struggling with drug addiction and unable to perform. Some reports suggest the rehearsal video might have been staged or edited to show Michael in better health than he was, implying it was part of a larger plan to fake his death. Others argue that Michael was indeed in good health, and the negative reports were part of a narrative to justify his sudden death. 2. Mysterious early report. If you follow the events related to Michael Jackson's death, you'll notice several unusual moments starting with the first announcement. One of the earliest sources to announce his death was the TMZ website. Interestingly, they published the news before any official medical report. This raises questions about how TMZ got the information before the hospital or other verified sources confirmed it. Could it have been a premature leak or an erroneous report? This strange timing has led to much speculation and suspicion about the circumstances surrounding Jackson's passing. 3. Paris Jackson's tweets. Michael Jackson's daughter, Paris Jackson, once tweeted, "If you only knew the truth." Fans have speculated that this tweet hints at a hidden truth about her father's death. Paris has also posted cryptic messages and photos that fans believe contain hidden meanings or codes suggesting Michael is alive. In interviews, Paris has sometimes dodged questions about her father's death, adding to the mystery that continues to intrigue and puzzle fans worldwide. 4. Inconsistent autopsy report. Michael Jackson's autopsy report, conducted by the Los Angeles County Coroner's Office, reveals details about his health, physical condition, and cause of death. The official report, released on February 8, 2010, recorded his weight at 136 pounds, 61.7 kilograms, and his height at 5 feet 9 inches. Just days before his death, Jackson was rehearsing for his upcoming This Is It tour. People close to him during these rehearsals, such as his trainer Lou Ferrigno and tour director Kenny Ortega, suggested his weight was closer to 112 pounds, which is significantly lighter than the 136 pounds noted in the autopsy report. Video footage from these rehearsals shows him performing energetically but appearing very thin, supporting the claim that he was indeed lighter than the autopsy report states. 5. Clues in his music videos. Some fans believe Michael Jackson had thought about faking his death long before it happened. In his Leave Me Alone music video, there's a part where he appears on the front page of a newspaper with the headline, "Michael Jackson is frozen at 50." In his song Escape, he sings about feeling trapped and needing to break free. "Everywhere I turn, everywhere I look, the system's in control. Everything is by the book. I need a break so I can free my soul. Getting away from reality is what I need." These lyrics and visuals have been interpreted by some as foreshadowing his plan to escape from public life. 6. Ambulance without sirens. When an ambulance responds to an emergency, it typically uses sirens to alert other road users and ensure a clear path. However, video footage shows the ambulance leaving Michael Jackson's home without using any sirens or lights. The vehicle calmly let a tour bus pass and then pulled onto the road without urgency. This raises questions about why the driver and medical team didn't use sirens, potentially slowing down the emergency care Michael needed. Some speculate that this lack of urgency suggests there wasn't a real medical emergency at all. 7. Living in the Middle East. There are rumors that Michael Jackson may be living in the Middle East after his supposed death. Some reports suggest he is under the protection of a wealthy Moroccan sheikh, residing in a luxurious estate and continuing to create music under a different name, away from the public eye. There is speculation that new songs credited to other famous artists could actually be Michael Jackson's work, released under pseudonyms. While these claims are unverified, they continue to circulate among fans and conspiracy theorists. 8. Death certificate errors. Michael Jackson's death certificate contains several errors and inconsistencies. One of the first discrepancies is the use of different names. Michael's known legal documents, including his driver's license, list his name as Michael Joseph Jackson. However, on the death certificate it's listed as Michael Joe Jackson. There are also conflicting dates on the death certificate. The date of death is listed as June 25, 2009, but the date of certification is July 7, 2009. The nearly two-week gap between these dates seems unusual and raises questions about the authenticity and accuracy of the certificate. 9. Dave interview. After Michael Jackson's death in June 2009, Dave, a burn survivor and artist who was a close friend of Michael's, appeared on Larry King Live on September 3, 2009. Some viewers noticed that Dave's voice on the show sounded remarkably similar to Michael Jackson's. Despite his burns, which typically affect a person's voice, the tone, pitch, and manner of speaking seemed too close to Michael's to be a coincidence. Observers also pointed out that Dave's mannerisms, such as his hand movements and facial expressions, were strikingly similar to Michael's. This led to speculation that Michael might have used prosthetics and makeup to disguise himself as Dave. 10. Propofol Controversy. Michael Jackson's death was officially attributed to a propofol overdose. The autopsy report indicated 2.2 milligrams per milliliter of propofol in his blood, which experts say is quite high. Yet some anesthesiologists argue that this amount alone wouldn't necessarily be fatal. Propofol is typically used in much higher doses during surgeries without causing death. Dr. Paul White, a leading anesthesiologist, testified during Murray's trial, suggesting that the amount of propofol found in Michael's system was consistent with a typical dose used for sedation. The propofol bottle found at the scene was almost empty, which some find suspicious. If Murray only gave a small dose, why was the bottle nearly empty? This discrepancy fuels theories of foul play. 11. Missing surveillance footage. At Michael Jackson's mansion, surrounded by high fences and modern security systems, something strange happened both inside and outside the house. The property had numerous CCTV cameras covering important areas, from the front doors to the main corridors, and even the perimeter around the mansion. These cameras were meant to prevent theft and break-ins and provide transparency in case of any incidents. However, on the night of the mysterious event, the surveillance footage disappeared. A technical examination showed that all the recordings from June 25th had been erased, and this wasn't by accident. Specialists say someone with high-level access and knowledge of the system deleted the recordings. 12. Posthumous releases. Since Michael Jackson's death in 2009, there have been numerous new music releases and projects. This includes 2 full albums of previously unheard tracks, multiple singles, and several documentaries. The quality of these releases is generally high, with many tracks appearing as polished and innovative as Jackson's work during his lifetime. Top producers such as Timbaland worked on the Escape album to meet modern production standards while preserving Jackson's artistry. However, there has been controversy over the authenticity of some vocals on the Michael album, with claims that some tracks feature impersonators rather than Jackson himself. The estate and producers maintain that all vocals are genuine. 13. The delayed 911 call. On June 25, 2009, around 12 p.m., Dr. Conrad Murray, Michael Jackson's personal physician, found Jackson in his bedroom not breathing. The 911 call was not made until 12:21 p.m., over 20 minutes later. This delay has sparked questions and suspicions. In any medical emergency, especially when someone is not breathing, calling 911 should be the immediate step to ensure professional help is on the way, while basic first aid is administered. Dr. Murray claimed he was performing CPR during this time, but performing CPR and making a 911 call are not mutually exclusive actions. Initially, Dr. Murray said he was performing CPR on the bed, which is ineffective since a firm surface is needed for proper chest compressions. Later, he corrected himself, saying he moved Jackson to the floor. 14. Body double theory. Michael Jackson used body doubles and lookalikes throughout his career for reasons such as security and privacy. Notably, individuals like Navi, a well-known Jackson impersonator, were employed due to their close resemblance to him in build, facial features, and mannerisms. Given the stress of his life and his desire for privacy, reports suggest the use of a double could be a method to create the illusion of his death. Some theorists believe that a body double might have been used in the ambulance and during the hospital admission, allowing Jackson to slip away unnoticed. 15. Hasty Cleanup. Another strange occurrence happened 2 days after Michael's death. His relatives quickly removed everything from his rented house, including personal items, furniture, sheets, and blankets. This was done before the police could start their investigation. When the police did inspect the house, they found medications and oxygen tanks, suggesting medical equipment and drugs had been there. This raised questions about why the family was in such a hurry to remove his belongings and what they might have been hiding. These actions fueled more suspicions and speculations about Michael's death, leaving many questions unanswered. 16. Helicopter footage. In the helicopter footage of Michael Jackson's body being transported from UCLA Medical Center to the Los Angeles County Coroner's Office, there is a moment where it seems there is movement under the blanket covering the supposed body. Slowing down the footage frame by frame reveals signs that some analysts interpret as deliberate movement from the person under the blanket. Observers argue that the movement suggests he wasn't dead at the time and might have been trying to get comfortable or even escape, while others argue it could be the result of turbulence or the helicopter's movement. The footage continues to be a point of discussion among conspiracy theorists. 17. Michael's mystery illness. In 2008, a year before his death, Michael Jackson was frequently seen in a wheelchair due to a serious skin infection. He was known to have expressed concerns about his health and fears of dying soon. Despite these health issues, he signed a touring contract and began rehearsing his dance routines shortly before his death. The contrast between his reported illness and his active rehearsals has led to speculation about the nature of his health and its impact on public perception. Some argue that this could have been part of a larger plan to make his eventual death more believable. 18. No open casket. Michael Jackson's funeral took place on September 3, 2009, at the Forest Lawn Memorial Park in Glendale, California. Despite the star-studded event with celebrities, family members, and close friends in attendance, and millions of fans watching the ceremony broadcast live on television and online, the casket remained closed. People expected to see Michael one last time, but the casket remained shut. This decision led to various speculations and theories indicating a need for further investigation into the events surrounding Michael Jackson's death. Some argue that an open casket would have put to rest many of the conspiracy theories, while its absence only fueled more speculation. 19. Sudden firings. Just hours after Michael Jackson's death was announced, there were significant changes in his entourage. Several of Jackson's closest aides and employees were suddenly fired. This swift and unexpected move, given the tragedy's scale, raised many questions and speculations. Some experts suggest that the firings might have been an attempt to eliminate potential witnesses who could reveal or confirm details about the events leading up to and surrounding Jackson's death. Others argue it could have been a necessary step in a larger plan to fake his death and disappear. 20. The ambulance photo. The photo taken by paparazzi photographer Ben Evenstad of Michael Jackson inside the ambulance shows intriguing details. The person in the ambulance has a slightly darker skin tone than Michael's at the time. The facial features, like the nose and cheeks, appear different from Michael's. The person is lying down, but the posture looks unnatural, almost as if posing rather than being unconscious. The oxygen mask on the person's face seems either improperly placed or unnecessary if Michael was already unresponsive. Several doctors mentioned that if Michael was truly in cardiac arrest, the emergency personnel's actions, such as the placement of the oxygen mask and the lack of visible CPR efforts, seemed unusual. 21. Funeral confusion. Michael Jackson's death on June 25, 2009, shocked the world, and immediately questions about his funeral arose. Initially, media reports indicated that the funeral would be held at Neverland Ranch. However, on July 1, 2009, the Jackson family announced that the service would instead take place at the Staples Center in Los Angeles. The change in location and subsequent secrecy surrounding the details of the funeral generated considerable speculation. In addition to the public memorial, a private funeral service was held on September 3, 2009, at Forest Lawn Memorial Park in Glendale, California. The delay and private nature of this service further fueled public interest and speculation. 22. Hiring Dr. Murray. 2 months before he passed away, Michael Jackson had a full medical checkup for insurance for his upcoming tour. The doctors said he was in good health to perform. However, 11 days before his death, Michael hired Dr. Conrad Murray, who had a bad reputation and financial problems. Murray had been involved in scandals and had significant debts, making him seem like a poor choice for such an important role. This decision raised many questions and suspicions about why Michael, with his considerable resources, didn't hire a more competent doctor. Some speculate that Murray's questionable background made him an ideal candidate for involvement in a potential death hoax. 23. Joseph Jackson's odd interview. 2 days after the funeral, Michael's father, Joseph Jackson, gave an interview. When asked about how he was doing, he surprisingly said he felt fine and that the family was doing well. This seems strange given the recent tragedy. Joseph quickly added that he was grieving Michael's death like everyone else. This behavior made people think he might have forgotten to act like a grieving father. It could have been his age or emotional state affecting him. This incident showed the contradictions in the family's reactions to Michael's death, making people question their sincerity and whether they knew more than they were letting on. 24. Mystery Woman. After Michael Jackson's death, reports surfaced about a woman who frequently visits his grave. This woman, often seen wearing a hat and sunglasses, leaves flowers and messages at Forest Lawn Cemetery. She has never been identified. Her secretive behavior, coupled with her consistent visits, has led to speculation that she might be a close friend or family member who knows more about the circumstances surrounding Michael Jackson's death. Some theorists even suggest that this mysterious woman could be Michael Jackson himself in disguise, periodically visiting his own grave to maintain the illusion of his death. 25. Gravesite. Michael Jackson's grave is in the Great Mausoleum, an area not open to the public, unlike many celebrity graves. The area around his grave is heavily guarded, adding to the intrigue. Reports also indicate that even family visits are limited and heavily monitored, which seems unusual for a typical burial site. In comparison, other celebrities' graves, like Elvis Presley's at Graceland, are major tourist attractions. This has fueled more suspicions and speculations about the King of Pop's death. Some argue that the intense security measures are in place to prevent anyone from discovering that the grave is empty. After exploring these 25 intriguing facts, the mystery deepens. Whether you believe Michael Jackson is still alive or not, his legacy undoubtedly lives on.